If you can hear this, do not adjust your Aethervox. This is the Avalon Society Emergency Broadcast Network. You're listening to a recount of the real events surrounding the catastrophe which occurred in the city of London at the end of May 1907. With the skies above London opening portals to the realm of Malifaux, drowning the city of London in a deluge of doom, chaos erupts as a colossal cantankerous cadaver creates carnage in the cathedral at Westminster. Our daring group battles with the beast and manages to disable its mechanical heart, stopping it dead in its tracks. With the maker of the mechanical malady beckoning them into the nunnery, will our stalwart squadron stand firm against the sinister spectre, or will they suffer a fate worse than death? Stay tuned and find out in today's episode of London Falls!
G'day guys and welcome, my name is Michael and I am the Dead Aussie Gamer and welcome back to Through the Breach, Avalon Society, London Falls. We are now headlong into episode 8 and first of all, thank you so much guys for those of you who have been staying tuned and watching every week, and for those of you who are brand new, welcome. Through the Breach is a card-based role-playing game set in the early 1900s where we get to watch these amazingly talented and wonderful people try to survive one of the hardest nights in London. Portals have appeared over the skies, and the entire city is currently drowning under a deluge of water from the deepest oceans of an alternative realm filled with monsters, undead, nightmarish creatures, and more. That being said, of course, we have a wonderful show for you today. And if you want to participate in today's show, there are a number of ways you can do so, which we will tell you after we introduce our wonderful star-studded cast, starting, of course, with none other than Mhaire from Orkan Spalter TV, playing the role of Ludovica. Hello, Mhaire.
Hello, Michael.
How are we today?
Oh, I'm good. Apart from one of my eyes trying to escape. That happens when you're undead. So if somewhere right in the middle of the game I just start plucking at my contact lenses, don't worry.
So tell us, who will you be playing?
I'm playing Ludovica Wilhelmina von Droste zu Möllenbeck, who used to be a minor German aristocrat, but now she's dead and far more interesting. And last session, she actually gained a new friend. Actually, it's a lot of friends stuffed into a big one. It's like the turducken of undead.
That's very true. Eddie, can we get that? Can we get the Goliath up on screen so we can see that? So yeah, no, Ludovica did make a new friend, a rather large, rather dumb friend, but yeah, friend nonetheless.
Yeah. We shot a hole in it, and then we stuffed our gremlin into it, and he rewired it, and now it likes me.
It does. It's very pleasant, very nice little thing. All right, next up in our lineup is none other than Anthony from Roll for Damage, playing the role of the Gremlin Billum. G'day, Anthony.
G'day. Yes, I'll play Billum. Sorry, I went full Australian for some reason.
You did.
I play Billum. Your little gremlin villain, your guy on the inside of most situations. I like to dive headfirst into problems. And I like to come out on top. That's probably the best way you could describe him.
Yep. For those of you not giggling right now, please watch the previous episode. And of course, Billum is a ward to none other than the very talented, very wonderful, and very ingenious Professor John Scarpati, played by the equally ingenious Till from Dungeon for Great Hill.
Hi everyone. Nice to be here. Yeah, I'm playing Professor John Scarpati, an old, he pretends to be an archaeology professor, but most of all, he is a smuggler and a dealer of ancient relics, and he would love to retire just to lean back on the front porch of his home and enjoy the lates of his life. But somehow London made a little bit of an ending to that plan, and now he needs to survive that first. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this session because it's going to be exciting, I fear.
Well said, well said. But of course, there is no greater fear than that of being forgotten. But one of the most unforgettable characters that I think I have seen across my tables thus far is none other than the prima donna Hortensia Fiddlewick, played by the equally unforgettable Janet from World Anvil. G'day, Janet.
That's me. That's me. Yes, I play Hortensia Fiddlewick, prima donna Hortensia Fiddlewick, who enters every situation with a little bit of style, a little bit of charm, bewitching grace, and if all of that fails, she has a gun hidden in her knickers, which she's more than capable of using.
Yes, very true. And of course, you know, a lot of things have been kind of pulled out of your knickers throughout this show. It's very bizarre, really. There's been the carousel horse, the some sort of giant log type thing after you were jumping from.
They are made of the same fabric that Mary Poppins' handbag is made of. All sorts of extraordinary things can be pulled out of it.
Yes, of course. And of course, I think for the most part we've seen only the beginning of Hortensia's bag of tricks. And speaking of bags of tricks, one of the trixiest, one of the cunning, the ruthless, the hard-hitting figures of this group is none other than the lawyer, the barrister known as Edward Hargrave Montague, played by the ever wonderful, ever cunning Guy from How to Be a Great Game Master, who looks quite concerned.
I may have broken my Zoom connection.
Oh no!
And I might have to return anon, for I think I am currently in slow motion.
Oh, well, that is okay, because slow though the connection may be, our hearts still remain strong. And while he is indeed sorting out his Zoom, Guy, Guy, tell me a little bit about Edward before we lose connection for you.
Edward is going through a crisis of faith at the current moment in time, and background, apparently. It is a situation that he finds himself in where a memory from the past has come to haunt him and has caused him to realize that perhaps money is not what it's all about, and to remember what he used to be like, about 40 years ago. And so he started to have feelings of friendship for his companions. Aww. This is not something that he's had before, and he has no idea how to bill for it, but he almost doesn't need to, which makes me even more unsettled. Of course, now that we are facing certain death, he realizes that perhaps he should have billed a little less and laughed a little more.
Excellent. I love this. I love that we've come almost on this whirlwind journey with all these characters. That it's been absolutely amazing. So while we talk to our audience, Guy, we're going to get you to just reset your camera super fast. Eddie, can we go to the technical screen real quick? That way we won't. Thank you kindly, sir. So while we await Guy, let me talk to you guys in our audience, our amazing fans, the people who have been watching this show. Now, I, for one, as the Dead Aussie Gamer, am always trying to encourage you guys to participate in these adventures. So we've actually got a couple of incentives for you guys to be able to interact with the story as it unfolds. First and foremost, if you would like to, you may donate to the stream to not only support these amazing and wonderful people, but also, get some random and wonderful effects, one of which is currently in effect, thanks to one of our lovely donators. So for the low price of $10, you can afford a fate point to one of the players. These fate points can be used to petition the Fatemaster for particular things here and there. They can also be used in order to give themselves advantage on the checks that they make in order to succeed or fail. For the low price of $25, you can generate a plot twist, an immediate twist drawn from a variety of different narrative constructs to suddenly change the dynamic of the group and the table. For the price of $50, if you feel like becoming a part of our ongoing campaign in some way, you will create an NPC that will then feature in the series. We actually have 2 of them that are lined up to appear in the series so far. And if you draw your attention to the bottom of the screen, there's a little bar here. This is our boss monster bar. Once we have accrued $100, every $100 that is, we shall generate a giant boss monster battle. Thanks to the very generous donation that we had last week, not only did we manage to pass through the threshold, you can keep your objections. We passed through the threshold of not 1, but 2 boss monsters. And you know what? I'm always one of these people who don't like to kind of see boss monsters be cut short. So without any further ado, let's go and visit boss monster number 2. Eddie, I believe we have a portrait for the scene as we began. As we ended last week. Can we get that up for us? The one with the good doctor. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. All right. So, as our scene opens, our group of heroes have found themselves in Westminster Abbey, heading towards the nunnery, after finding out that some manner of creature or person possessed by some demonic entity has not only risen Goliath, the large construct that now has befriended Ludovica, but has also done some other dark dealings and horrible words to a thing known only as the Whisper. The nuns are dead, their corpses wrapped in bedsheets and blankets in this large and rather barren room, in the center of which the former priest of Westminster Abbey, drawing an infernal circle of evil surrounded by a noxious green glow as he finishes his dark work. The bodies of the nuns sit upright, cloths hanging from their cold forms as they look out upon our group. Ludovica riding atop Goliath while the others seem to peer into the room from behind his hulking mass. The man looks, his eyes almost dead to the world, but something glowing beyond his eyes speaks to you, speaks deeply and softly. You are next. As the lights turn out super suddenly and you find yourselves plunged into darkness, the only thing that illuminates are these small green candles. And as they do, you notice that the area that you knew was gone. The barren, clear room seems to be devoid of the bodies of these nuns, tables, windows, nothing. You're in this dark, almost box-like room. And that is when you see hundreds of eyes appear opening in all the surfaces of the walls, the ceilings, the floors, mouths and teeth appearing in all these different places. And the voice speaks yet again.
Let's play a game.
Can we change our artwork to the creature that we will be fighting, as we are going to launch into today's episode by flipping initiative? All right, all our players grabbing their cards, and oh wow, what a start! Is it a good start? Is it a bad start? Who knows? All right. So the way that this game works, while our players are gathering up their scores, by flipping these cards and adding their values, they will determine success or failure. The card that you can see coming across the screen right now is called the Red Joker. There is one in every deck, and it signifies incredibly good luck. It's flipped on initiative, which is not necessarily ideal, but not entirely a bad thing either. However, you do get something extra special every time it does show its head. But where there is good, there is also evil, as in the deck as well. Now lurks a black joker waiting to strike. All right. Ludovica, what do we get for our initiative?
10.
10. Billum.
Tens across the board.
10, 10, 10. Billum? Billum? Do we have Billum? Billum.
I have an 11.
11. Very nice. Professor.
I have a 6.
A 6. All right. Edward.
12.
12. All right. Hortensia.
Well, darling, I flipped the Joker. Which is a shame because I have no idea what I'm going to do.
All right. Well, you're most certainly going first. Let's see. So the initiative on this creature is incredibly high. But not that high. Okay, good. All right, so Hortensia gets to go first, followed by the creature, followed by Edward, Billum, Ludovica, and then none other than the professor. All right, so Hortensia, you are in a room surrounded by darkness. There is no entrance, there is no exit. There is simply just this leathery kind of flesh-like skin that seems to just cover every surface like a husk, leaning over it. Every now and then you see this roiling mass of like flesh that seems to almost slosh under toe as this fluid beneath the leather sort of shifts its weight, passing over, through, and around you. What do you wish to do?
Well, I'm panicking, so that's nice. Well, it's terribly dark in here, so I fear an illusion is not going to help me. I'm going to try to bewitch it. I'm going to say, you know, we don't have to be enemies. We could be friends, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep, that's what I'm trying. Because there's nothing to shoot at. And it's too dark to make an illusion.
Very true. Very true. Keeping in mind the illusion of light will create illumination.
Yes, but then I'd have to see it. And I don't think that's going to do anyone any good, darling.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is at this point that we realize that Janet has played Call of Cthulhu.
Yes, I have read Lovecraft before.
All right. So you may make a bewitch check in order to try and appeal or reach out to whatever this creature happens to be. Let's see what we get.
It's not that. That is lies. No, look over there. It's a 12.
All right. A 12 of tomes as the prima donna cheats from her hand in order to curry the favor of this creature. What is your total value?
17.
17. All right. Now, you say you bewitch this creature. How exactly are you trying to charm this beast? How are you trying to soothe the creature, as it were?
Well, I suppose I could sing it a little lullaby. Go to sleep, scary thing. You're too scary. Yep, that's what I'm trying.
All right. As you do so, the creature's eyes, some of them seem to flutter closed. And you can hear that there's almost like this deeper breathing coming from around you. You're fairly sure it's not asleep. At the same time, you feel like your voice has a very calming effect on it. For the time being, the creature is considered to be dazed, but we're going to be saying that it's lethargic. It's a bit lethargic at the moment from your beautiful singing. Now, that was only one action for you to do that. You do have a second, if you wish to use it.
Do I know where the door is? The out, the gone direction?
You may search for it if you wish to, but this creature seems to be everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, I would like to create the illusion of light, then. If I may, I shall flip first to see if I can.
Yes,
or I
please
could
do
just
so.
pick up the whole deck. That could work too. I do not create any light. I go, nothing happens.
All right. As you attempt to create a source of light, you, alas, do not. The illusion sort of tries to gather in your hand for a few moments, but you do get this fleeting glimpse of this kind of green black leather that's just around every surface. And from what you got from your cursory glance, there is indeed a passageway for you to travel, but it's kind of like looking at a passageway of darkness beyond darkness beyond darkness. You know, black walls, black
When you
floor,
say
black ceiling.
passageway, does it have a digestive quality to it?
No, it does look. It does have more of a building layout to it, but it looks as though. Imagine if you were in the same building, just all the surfaces were now a little organic-y. So it's still very
Okay.
squarish, if that makes sense. All right, the creature in its daze starts to sort of release these heavy sighs. As they do so, it is going to use a spell called Altar of Disease. As it exhales this toxic, noxious breath, drifts out everywhere. I require everyone to make a defensive flip. I don't want to tell you the target number because I'm worried that you don't want to make the flip.
So first of all, I do have the skill counter spell. Could I use that?
You could. You may. Would you like to try?
Yes, I would like to try.
All right. So in addition to the thing you just flipped, you may flip another card. Put it in the center of the deck, in the discard pile. All right.
So this would be my counter spell.
Yep.
Which would be 15.
Okay, a 15. Not bad, but not enough.
No.
All right. Everyone suffers 1 irreducible damage and gain the blighted condition. As your bodies breathe in this kind of gas, you feel your lungs kind of struggling to breathe in this area. It has become almost a cloying, choking, nasty sort of feeling, and it is everywhere. If you remain inside this thing, whatever it happens to be, for too long, well, you might not be lasting very long at all. All right.
What about members of this group who don't have to breathe?
Oh, excellent question. Let us find out. What is the effect of blight on the undead? Blight. Here we go. Something. In the blighted condition. I will get back to you on that. But in the meantime, however, we shall carry on. Edward, it is your turn next.
Before Edward takes his action as the PC, the player would like to know, do you have to pay for your own character artwork if your PC dies?
No. I am of the mindset that no character shall ever be paid by my players. I will be fronting all of the costs. In this particular case, there is a proviso that you must make it to at least Act 3. This is the last episode for Act 2. So technically speaking, you've literally gotten into that condition by the skin of your chinny chin chin. But I don't like that line of questioning.
It's just a precaution, nothing more. Edward may not like his chances here. How much of this space is covered in this fog?
Let me check. All of it. Every single inch, every square millimeter. You can't see a single scrap of anything but the flesh, except for what you currently carry on your person. Oh, and Goliath.
Just for one point of clarity, Did you say that they were eyes in the walls, or is it just the creature?
It's the creature. Imagine the creature as a thin, sort of skeletal kind of husk type thing that has just covered all the surfaces.
In that case, then, I shall do my dirty derringer and shoot it.
Excellent, excellent. Okay.
Yes. And that would... I think the gun is faulty. I cheat fate and shoot it again.
Well, I would like to point out that you are trying to shoot the wall. It's not actually that difficult to shoot the wall when there's nothing but wall to hit. You can cheat it in order to make it a more powerful shot, but just to let you know, you will, unless you get 0 or lower, you will likely hit this thing.
Well, that was a 3, in which case, then, if fate says it is fine, then so be it. Die.
All
Takes
right.
2 points of damage.
All right. Well, no, it doesn't. It takes you have to flip a negative in order to determine which type of damage you do. So flip twice, take the lowest. Yes, it is 2 damage.
Yes, it is 2 damage.
It might not have been.
Yeah.
All right.
Nonetheless, I had to draw my weapon and fire. That's me done.
Excellent.
A very dire situation. Perhaps women should evacuate down the corridor.
All right. Now, to clarify for Ludovica on the topic of blighted creatures, you will suffer only but one effect, and that is that you would become contagious. But you, however, will avoid the more critical effect of the blighting, which is, of course, that it would be terminal and you will take damage until you die. So you don't need to worry about that because you're already dead. Everyone else, however, will need to worry about that, but that'll only be when your blighting value reaches 13 or higher when you become terminal. Everyone is currently at a blighting score of 1. Cool. Sweet. Fantastic.
Cool.
All right, Billum.
Yeah. Look, I'm just gonna shrug this one off. Just count one of me cards here to get rid of this condition altogether.
Now, to clarify, there is no ill effect for that condition, but if you get infected again, you will need to shrug it off again. So when you shrug it off, it'll get rid of the whole thing. Like, it'll get rid of all of your blighted condition, not just the one.
Excellent. Fantastic. Well, I'll use one of my actions to do that, and the next action to draw out my fighting claw.
Very well.
I'm ready to jump at the wall if it comes at me.
Very well. Getting ready to jump at the wall it is then. All right, next up is Ludovica.
I pat my double-decker undead on one of its heads, point at the thing in front of me, and whisper, "Attack!"
All right.
Atta boy.
You give it the order action. Now, this will only take 1 action, so it'll have its full turn after you've concluded yours. Is there any other thing you wish to do?
I get myself into a half-kneeling position on the back of the thing, and with one hand holding on, I use the other one to draw my pistol from my handbag, and that's it.
Very well. All right. The simulacrum, otherwise known as Goliath, will step forward as it, well, not even step forward. It'll just sort of raise its hands and slam it into the ground. It gets a 14 to hit, which of course will hit. Ludovica, you may flip for this. It is a straight flip. So just flip.
I've got a 9.
You got a 9, so that's medium damage, which is 5 points of damage. As you watch this heavy hand basically just and 5 points of damage is delivered quite brutally to the ground. Now the floor beneath cracks, and you can see the kind of sinewy like leather vines trying to reach each other, but you can also see now cracked tiles beneath these heavy hands. Everyone who is standing near the Goliath feel the ground shake beneath them as this thing hits one heavy hit. With its second action, it will do the same thing, raising its hands again and bringing it down once more. If you would be so kind.
And
Alright.
this is a 5.
Okay. And that will bring us to 3 extra damage. So the creature has taken 10 damage so far. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. You can watch as the eyes that were lethargic a moment ago suddenly spring open, and the mouths that sort of before were kind of smiling and sort of cocky looking become like angry and frowning, and they glare and they bare their teeth at the Goliath. John, it is your turn.
I don't like this at all. No, that's... Could I still just close the door and leave the room? I feel
there is
like
no
that
door.
would be oh fuck. Well, in that case, I will draw my pistol and I will fire away at that thing. Firing the first shot. Oh, wait a second. Sorry. Are those green lit candles still flickering?
Yes.
Okay, I would use one of my actions to shoot one of the candles, like I'm trying to shoot it out.
All right. Make a attack with a negative flip as you are trying to, aim at a candle from quite a distance away. As you take,
I think I'm sorry. I think I'm a sharpshooter.
Oh, are you? If you
I'm
have
not
that,
sure though. I will check later. I think just a negative flip here.
All right. Let's see what happens. Ooh, not bad.
Well,
what's your total?
My total would be a 6. Yeah, I would just I will shoot at the candle with a 6, hoping that I hit it.
With a 6, you hit one of the candles. As it does so, it rolls to the ground, and you can see that wherever the flames seem to illuminate, the body of the creature seemed to sort of pull away from the flames.
So this did have an effect on the creature. Interesting. In that case, I will try to shoot a second candle.
All right, taking aim, you fire yet again.
Oh, sorry.
All right. All right, so that's
negative.
So
it's still negative flip though. So
yep,
it would be what was it, a 4? I didn't
it was a 4,
see
yeah.
it. Yeah, so it would be a 7.
All right, with your shot, yet again, one of the candles fall to the ground. Now the candles are still lit, but they are now tipped over, and you can see that the creature sort of turns.
What are you playing at?
Well, I'm playing the old traditional just survive this thing game. What are you playing?
One went over the mulberry bush.
You watch as this like almost this wave of flesh starts careening towards you. I need everyone to make me an evasion check to avoid this tidal wave of just bulk that seems to move in your direction. So everyone make an evasion check. All right.
7.
What do we get? 7. 7 is not high enough. Who's the next lowest?
I probably drew for Goliath. Oh, and I got a 2.
Oof. All right. Yeah. Goliath takes it on the brunt. Everyone else?
13.
Yep. You're fine. 17?
17.
That's fine.
14.
Nice.
14 is also fine. All right. Those of you who managed to avoid the damage from the creature, however, Those of you who did not, oh, well, that's very lucky. As the huge roll of flesh manages to collide with you, those of you who get hit suffer 4 points of damage as the bulk hits them, which I believe are Goliath and who's the other one? Who got lower than? Who got 7? Till. Okay, so that is. So you, all right. So Professor Scarpati has taken 5 damage so far.
Yeah, I'm out.
Well, you're not quite yet. Not quite yet. So because you're lower than 0 hit points, what we need you to do is make a toughness
I'm
challenge.
exactly at 0.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. Toughness challenge. You need to get a 10 in order to avoid being knocked out by the flesh.
Well,
All right, perfect. You remain conscious, holding on as you can to your moments of fleeting consciousness. I need you, well, actually, I can flip this. I'm going to flip this. That is a 10 on weak, which is, if I have a look here, will generate a critical effect. Now, do you have any armor on by any chance?
let me quickly check. I think I do not. Oh, I do. I'm wearing a brigandine.
All right, Brigandine armor is head armor, yes?
Are you asking me that?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Okay, let's just take a quick look. Do you have the protected feature written on your character from that armor?
Light and protected, yes.
Okay, protected with what suit?
Rams.
Ah, okay, very well. Then it does not protect you from tomes, which is what we drew. So your head is indeed injured, and the effect is you have, it basically has hit a very sensitive nerve. You become slowed for your next round.
Great.
Yes. All right. Back to the top of the initiative. We then return to none other than Hortensia.
That's me. Well, I'm assuming that this room of flesh and eyes and mouths is no longer calmed. No, it's not calm anymore. Well, in that case, I'm going to pull a pistol out of my knickers and back away slowly and shoot it. So that is what I do. I continue to back towards the door. I think I have quick draw on my pistol now because of the number of ranks I have. So I draw my pistol and I shoot where somebody isn't.
Very well.
There are lights in the room, aren't there? I'm gonna aim for an eye.
You can aim for an eye? Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay. Make your attack as you take your pistol from your knickers and point at the nearest, largest, most bulbous eye. You take a shot.
I do. This is a worse audience than when I was in Austria. 7
The
plus
mouth
other things.
Very well. That will hit with a negative flip. So flip 2, take the lowest.
Do you need my full number or not?
No. I mean,
No,
yeah, you,
okay.
you
Then
won't
I will not waste your time. All right. Don't be too negative, little flip. Wait, what did I do? What's happening?
Fine.
Okay, that will be a 2.
All right. With a 2, you do weak damage to it, which I believe is 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is.
All right. 2 points of damage as you shoot it in the eye. You hear
Tough
the
room.
creature. Yeah, that's what it does. It yargers. There you go. All right. As we then move to the creature itself, it says,
You fools, the whispers will engulf you and will drag you to this side, for whether it be Malifaux or whether it be Earth, you will be laid to the ground and consumed.
it is going to engulf one of you, or attempt to engulf one of you. Let us see who is it going to engulf. I'm going to roll a dice because I haven't rolled dice in this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've got a choice of 5, 6. I've got a choice of 6 targets actually. So I'm going to roll a d6.
I'm trying to look pointy and indigestible.
Oh yes, you are very pointy and indigestible. Okay, here we go. So a 6-sided dice.
Actually, isn't Hortensia very round and
Yes, that's why I have to look
Tasty.
so pointy.
Okay, here we go. So I'm going to, and
I'm
I'm
like
going
a
to
mountain
roll this on the.
steak.
I'm going to roll this here just so that we can actually. I mean, I hope we can kind of see that. I'm just going to add a bit of color to this that way. There we go. All right, cool. So here we go. I'm going to roll this. So 1 is going to be Hortensia, 2 is going to be Edward, 3 is going to be John, 4 is going to be Billum, and 5 is going to be Ludovica, with a 6 being the less than favorable option of Goliath. So, well.
It ate our meat machine.
Did. Goliath. Can a Goliath please flip a defensive flip for me? The target number is 18.
Goliath flip. Goliath get 8. What bonus does Goliath have?
Goliath have a bonus of 2.
No.
All right.
I can't cheat this.
You can.
High enough.
Oh, you can't. You don't have anything to cheat it higher.
Yeah. How do I get up to an 18, sweetie? With a +2.
Let's see. How many fate points do you guys have? You got 1. Nope, you can't. Yep. Yeah, that's yeah, okay. So, without any further ado, you watch as the leather that covers the walls suddenly dissipates and then sort of disappears around the floor. So the walls now reveal themselves once again to be the walls of the nunnery, white stone with glass that lets in the sheen of the water as the light from outside you know that kind of wavy light that comes in when you shine light through water. That's coming in through the windows in this small nunnery. You see the floor itself suddenly start to crawl up like this grabbing, cloying, ink-like substance as it climbs up Goliath's leg. Goliath reaches up onto its shoulders and grabs hold of Ludovica with both hands gently and reaches forward away from its body, placing her very delicately and very gently on an altar in this just on the other side of where the creature happens to be attacking from. It also uses its second action to do the same thing with everyone else, reaching its hand and sort of scooping as again gently as it wraps around to move everyone slightly further away from its quite long reach. As it does so, the blackness gets to its neck and starts to crawl up its throat. The last words you hear from the creature is,
"Be good."
and you watch as the black ink covers its face, and then you watch as its mouth snaps, as its jaw breaks. And for those of you who are fans of the Marvel Universe, this venom-like smile cuts through almost half of its head with these fangs that sort of lick out and this roiling tongue that sort of lashes around. The creature laughs once more.
The power to feel once more. Let me show you.
As the creature is now covering Goliath. All right, that's what it does. Ludovica, what's your response to this as this happens?
Ludovica gets set down, then kind of tries to get her bearing atop the altar, and then looks back, sees what happens to Goliath, and goes very, very still. I was too angry for the grave. You do not want to make me angry.
You watch as her eyes basically start to smoke with this like kind of almost this blue-green essence as her tempers flare. You even see that around her neck there's this almost an illumination from beneath the makeup that she wears, almost like a scar across the throat that just glows menacingly. Edward, it is your turn.
I just shoot it twice. Edward has. I think
Right.
he's. Yes, he's panicking. He's in absolute panic. And I just want to say thank you so very much to the audience who gave us this monster of delight and pleasure and joy.
Yes, indeed.
So the first shot is, well, it's 10.
That will hit with a negative flip on the attack itself. So, sorry, on the damage. So flip twice, take the lowest for your damage.
Oh, bother. What have I done?
And one more. All right.
2 points of damage.
2 points of damage. All right. The shot rings out.
I have a special power. My sniper friend.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that.
Would it be... I'm finding it difficult to justify how it could possibly happen. In your Twixie GM brain, could you figure out how it could possibly happen?
Yeah. You've do you remember what the name of the ability is called?
I just wrote it down as sniper.
It's okay. It's called Sold Your Soul.
Oh, you sold my soul. I got it here. Yes, sold your soul. That's right.
There's a very good reason why no matter where you are, no matter what is happening, you can tap into this. However, it comes at a price.
Yes, I can't be raised as the undead.
Do you wish to use this?
Yes, of course.
All right. Please bear with me for just a moment.
If I can't be raised back as undead, it means that when I die, that's it. Game over, man. I don't want that. I've got things to do.
All right. All of a sudden, a small thumping sound can be heard from nearby. As it is, one of those, what are the confessionals? That's the word I'm looking for. A confessional suddenly erupts in flames. As it does so, the fires burn through the wood here, and you can see that from the ashes, this almost like red insignia falls over this kind of small box, very similar to what you'd imagine a magic trick to look like. You throw the cloth over the box and you're like, ta-da, and then a woman comes out. This time, however, what happens to come out is what looks to be a very tall, very massive man, huge rippling muscles. He's got a square-jawed beard, bright red hair, and kind of has a very lumberjack kind of vibe. As he sort of steps out, he has a large shotgun on his person. He looks around in a moment of confusion and looks at Edwards. Right, you call in the favor then?
As per our contract, yes, I am.
Aye. And that be the one then?
Yes. Just do it. Do it quickly.
All right, you may simply flip damage on the damage being done to this creature.
That is an 8. Is it 8? What is it?
That is an 8.
Yeah.
All right, so medium damage, which is
5.
Oh, nice. All right, 5 points of damage. This individual just comes in, guns blazing. You hear the sounds of the shot firing. as this, like I said, this huge lumberjack-looking dude with a shotgun bursts out of the confessional, and as he's taking shots, you can also see around the nape of his neck what appears to be kind of like a collar, and this collar is bright blue, and there's some singed flesh on either side of it. Yeah, this individual is here to help you and will continue to help you till, of course, the creature is dead. Yeah. All right.
What just happened?
Ta-da.
It's a long story, and I'll tell you later. But needless to say, I was once young and vulnerable, and I was in a dark alleyway, and I needed help. And I didn't think I was ever going to need my soul. What do you need a soul for? It doesn't do anything. It just sort of hovers around, doesn't it?
It animates your body, and it's very tasty.
Pretty animated. Well, I didn't know it was tasty at the time. I mean, all this newfangled magic thing is no legal precedent for it.
You can also see the contract that you have suddenly incinerates as this person steps into action.
Blimey.
All right. So, moving swiftly along, we then go from Edward and his very infernal action to Billum.
Does it burn? Do you think this would burn? Does it burn? Will it? No. Time for a drink. That's all I can say. I'll produce my flask of moonshine and proceed to take a very hefty swig before spitting it out onto this creature.
Oh, very nice. All right. You drink deep from the moonshine, which some ancient shaman have told you never to do with goblin moonshine. As you do so, there's almost like this kind of vision that you kind of see. You as you sort of fill your mouth with this volatile liquid that is somehow or another 120% ethanol. As your visions slowly start to sort of turn to you in the middle of a desert, there's a cactus. It suddenly has your mother's face. You know, you see this turtle that has a coyote and an owl's wings. You know, it sort of looks at you and says, "Good morning, Billum," and then you spit it out as it covers the creature. You don't need to make a roll on that. I'm more than happy to say you have successfully doused this creature in a very flammable concoction.
Got a light?
Anyone respond? To got a
Sadly,
light?
I think I do.
That's pretty funny. I love the fact that none of you.
It was a very good first step of a two-step plan.
It was a very good step.
Are you telling me that all that gubbins in your pocket, you don't have a piece of flint or steel or something to create a spark? Are you
I'm
serious?
a little bit dazed by the blow I took. I just point at the candles that are still on the floor burning, and I'm like, I think they could do the trick.
Oh, you're a genius. If I can,
don't feel
if I have
impressed
any
with that.
action left, I run to one.
Absolutely. You run to one very, very swiftly and manage to collect one of these green candles. But that is all you are able to do on this turn. As we then go back to Ludovica. Ludovica standing on the altar, anger fueling her necrotic life force. Ludovica, I'm going to give you an awarded bonus for roleplay. You, for the next period of time, are able to use any spell or any ability that will automatically give you the crow suit. So whatever you flip for this round, you will be treated as always having flipped a crow.
That is very nice, because I was gambling on using a power that needs crow suit. It's like, how did you know?
There's just you know.
Chances. Fine. Ludovica, eyes blazing green, opens her mouth impossibly wide and makes the sound like someone drawing their first breath and 1,000 years. And that's an 11 that gets turned into a crow suit, which is what I need. I need at least an 8 of crows to use my power pull of the grave. So I'm feeding on the thing's soul if it has something that can be defined as a soul, and slow it down because I'm feeding on it and keeping it inside. It will get back its soul if it survives at some point, but for now it's mine. And
All
so
right.
it becomes more sluggish.
Very well. As you draw your breath, the creature, as you sort of breathe deep, there's almost this hollow feeling for a moment, but almost like the dying embers of a flame. You pull something from within, and as you do so, the creature is now slowed. Well done. All right, that's your first action.
That's my first action. And then I'm going to look for eyes that I can shoot out where I won't damage Goliath too much underneath.
Well, Goliath actually has the hard to wound and hard to kill thing, so there's no real vulnerable spots too much on Goliath.
I'm
but
just going to shoot any spot with an eye.
yeah, you'll be fine. I was gonna say you'll be fine. Goliath can pretty much take a good hit anywhere.
That's a 9. That goes up to a 13.
All right. With a 13, that will hit with a straight flip.
That's a 10.
All right.
If I see that correctly, the eyes and the veil, it's like I've lost half my power of sight. Yeah, it's a 10.
All right, medium damage, which is
That's 3 points of damage.
3 points of damage.
While she's still kind of like munching on the soul.
All right. You watch. You guys can actually almost see visually as basically this vacuum of essence, almost like if if you ever watched Harry Potter, that the bit with the wraiths that sort of suck in the soul energy. That's more or less what you see Ludovica do as she kind of lifts up her veil and just brings that essence into her person. Does anyone react when that happens? Because this is the first time you've seen that. The Dementors, thank you for that.
I assume I start to gibber. I mean, this is worse than the fact that the room has become a flash tent.
Flesh tent.
For kids.
Yep. Okay. Anyone else? Any other visceral reactions to Ludovica's?
I assume it's just because I'm drunk.
Yep. Oh, Grandma packed the good stuff. You very well.
I'm just thankful that I don't have a soul anymore.
Very true.
Yeah, I will pat myself down like as a reflex. I will be like, okay.
All right. Next up on our list is John.
Well, so I'm still knocked to the ground, and I feel pretty dazed. So I will carefully rob back a little bit, and Billum is holding the candle already. So I assume that he's going to shine the light onto this creature very soon. So I will use my round to just fire at it as much as I can.
All right, make your attacks as you continue just unloading into this terrifyingly large creature.
So first attack would be an 8.
An 8? An 8 will not hit. You need a 10 to hit. 10 or higher.
Okay, second shot.
All right, second shot.
Well, okay. So without being completely useless, I would cheat that to make it a 16.
All right, so cheating with your 13 of masks, you do indeed hit with a 16. Straight flip. So flip your flip your d20. Flip your card from your deck, and we see a 3 minimum damage, which brings it to
A 2.
all right. Coolios. This thing is still kicking. Jesus. All right. As it does so, it seems to be more invested now in one of you in particular, and that is, of course, Ludovica. The creature lumbers forward. As it does so, you watch as the flesh from Goliath's hands start to melt away, almost like just porridge, revealing his bones attached by thin strips of sinew that turn into kind of claws that tap on the ground like an old crone drumming on a table. As it sort of moves itself forward, you watch as its mouth opens and distends as it leans forward in an attempt to swallow not only Ludovica, but the altar that she is standing on as well. As it opens its mouth, it leans outwards. Ludovica, I need you to make me a defensive duel, if you'd be so kind.
I'm thinking about doing a Billum and just letting myself be swallowed. And
You may. There's no requirement for you having to choose to defend yourself.
then I'm going to let myself be eaten,
Okay.
altar and all.
Before that happens, I would like to inform you that the damage on this is 4, 4, 6. Yes, 4, 4, and 6.
Oh,
And
you mean it's going to kill me outright no matter what I do?
No. Oh, do you have 4 hit points?
Yes. And right now I'm at 2 because I was already smashed beyond
Yes.
0.
Well, it won't necessarily kill you. It will. I mean, you'll need to make an unconsciousness check and make 10. If you do so, you will be conscious inside it.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes.
Let's get eaten.
All right. Here we go. So, could you flip a straight flip for me, please? All right. And that is minimum damage. So that is 4 points of damage as Ludovica disappears into the maw of this creature. There is this crunching sound it basically just snaps concrete and stone. Bits of the altar fly from its cheeks and land in rubble nearby it. As Goliath leans over and raises his head once more, you can see him chewing on something that grinds and crunches. And there is no sign of Ludovica or the place she was even standing.
You ate my terrifying friend! I can't believe you ate my terrifying friend!
Ludovica, can you make a toughness challenge? Oh, wait, and you know what? I'm going to build suspense here. Don't flip a toughness challenge. We'll do that on your turn.
Fine.
Hortensia, it is your turn.
I am terrified and outraged and furious. And my illusions don't seem to be working, which is just making me more angry. I'm turning into a Karen. I want to see the manager. This is not fine. Right, I'm going to shoot this thing in the knees and kneecap it and take it down. That's what I'm going to do.
All right, make your attack as you shoot this thing in its knees.
That would be the Black Joker.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
Now, Edward, you may object to this, but if you do, you will suffer 2 points of damage for the Joker being rebuffed.
I object! I object! I object most strenuously! No one says no to the prima donna!
All right, Prima Donna, you get to flip. And Edward, as you do so, you feel something it feels almost like a silk glove wrapping around your heart for a moment, giving it the ever so slightest squeeze. Hortensia, what is your new flip?
My new flip is 9.
9? Oh, you need a little bit more to be able to hit.
I have nothing to cheat with.
Well, on the bright side, at least your gun didn't explode, sending shrapnel into your body, which may possibly have been avoided by the objection. Very well. So as you've taken the shot rings and misses. The
May I shoot
creature.
again? May I shoot
Oh, yes,
again?
of course, you can shoot again. Yes. The creature mockingly laughs at you.
I just do.
I believe you flipped that.
Oh,
Oh, that's a much better shot. As you.
that's a much better shot.
All right, what's your total on that one?
That would be a 15 to shoot the
Nice.
giant thing in the kneecap and explode its kneecap and make it pay for eating my friend.
Very nice. Flip 2 cards and take the lowest as you shoot it in the kneecaps. The friend-eating bastard.
That's my 2 cards.
Oh, it's not. There's 3. There you go.
Oh.
You're not on the
I'm
last
completely
one.
incompetent with this thing. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I forgive you. But everyone only gets 1.
Thank
All right. So minimum damage, which I believe is 2.
2.
You are bringing this thing very close to death.
Don't eat my friend!
It turns its head to you, but its upper body doesn't move. It's almost like the neck is broken as it and several
Oh,
other
that's very
eyes
interesting.
open up.
Hi. Hello. Don't think we've been formally introduced.
Oh, a different voice actually goes for this one. You watch as the skin sort of peels off the face, and you can see it sort of transform back into the visage of the priest that you saw scratching in the runes.
Of course. Where are my manners? I am the wandering blight.
The Wandering Blight. You haven't thought of settling down, have you? Maybe not in London.
Its head sort of stretches into a different angle, and it says,
Oh no. I have found myself quite fond of this place and the meat carcasses that you leave strewn behind for me to feast upon. I must say, Madam Fiddlewick, I'm a big fan. I would love to have you over for dinner.
How lovely to meet a fan. You wouldn't like to disgorge my friend, would you? As a favor?
Oh, rest assured, once she becomes part of me, I will introduce you most personally and directly.
Lovely. Yes, lovely.
all right. I love how the once you've got the couple of shots off, that bravado just sort of went thicker. There we go. Very
It was fine when it wasn't looking at me.
ah, you're distracted. Oh god. I do not have that many hit points. I am the wizard. Okay. So that is what it does, as you've actually managed to distract it during its turn. Edward, it is your turn. Go.
I'm going to try and throw myself in between the prima donna and this monster, because the monster seems to be looking directly at the prima donna.
Yes, but you also realize that the rather large lumberjack man is contractually obligated to.
Well, throw himself in front of me, not in front of her.
Well, whatever you need for this.
I also thought he only stayed around for 1 round, but I'm happy for him to stay longer. Shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it.
Look, getting these guys in is not a problem. Getting them to leave a scene is a little bit more hard to explain. So I'm more than happy to have him hang about for a little bit more. It's like, ta-da, he's appeared. Excellent. I've taken my shot, which is the purview of the ability. What now? I could kick about. So yes, for the time being, he is at your service. At your discretion.
In that case, then there's just the one creature, right?
Yes, correct. Okay, so Goliath is inside of it, being surrounded by the creature. They are functioning as one single creature.
Okay, that makes sense. I will then just shoot him twice.
Very well.
First shot. Bang.
Wow.
14.
I swear to God, you should not have rolled a freaking lawyer. Like, I mean, I'm glad you did.
I'm glad I did too. I seem to have the most hit points. I have 6. I've only got 2 left, but I'm doing quite okay.
Doing splendiferously.
Opera has 7. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, that makes
Look, you can fit a lot of hit points in this big old body. I'm telling you.
I feel like most of it is the dress, though. You know, like it's the wig. All right. So what was the total? Sorry.
14.
14. So that is a negative flip. So flip 2, take the lowest. That is the last card, so don't worry. Yep. Okay.
Well, that'll be a 1. So 2 damage.
Okay. Everyone gets to draw a card from their twist deck because I have reshuffled the deck. And your second card, sir.
Well, it can't be lower than a 1, can it?
No, but you still need to flip it. All right. So that is, of course, minimum damage, which is 2. And your second attack, if you would be so kind.
Bang! 7.
Total of 7?
Yeah.
A total of 7 will not do it. You will need a 10 or higher.
Then I cheat fate with my 9 of rem.
Oh, okay. Flip 3 cards and take the lowest as you take another shot.
10. No! No! What have I done?
I got you.
I'm not the only idiot.
Today is the day when we will just, at some point, it's just going to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The deck of cards will
I'll try
explode
and
all
flip
over
the
the
deck and I'll
table.
remove a leg from the table or something.
All right. So moderate damage.
Oh,
3. Ha! Have at you, you horrid
I just
creature.
realized I think he didn't block flipping off the table, so
I didn't block flipping off the table. Don't flip the table. I mean, I can
What?
undo it. No, who? Damn it, Mhaire. Don't tell Guy about this. Fine. You know what? You can do it later. You can do it later. Don't push the button. All right. So we've now increased the stakes of today's game. All right. So as you've shot the creature a couple more times, there are large holes now appearing in the skin and hide of this creature as it tries to hold itself together. We then go to Billum. Billum, the creature is doused in flames. You have the candle.
First thing I'm gonna run at it, candle on any part that I can see that is covered in moonshine.
Wait! Ludovica's in there.
I'll get her out, don't worry.
Okay.
Because my next action is to get up inside it.
I need a second.
It's what he does. He sets things on fire and
Michael.
lights aside living beings.
Michael, you need to give us monsters who are not big enough for Billum to climb inside.
Or a group discount for those X courses.
There's holes. I'm gonna go for it.
All right. In a reenactment of Johnny Cash's Burning Ring of Fire, you watch as Billum leaps with an acrobatics check or an athletics check, either or, to try and get up in it, I guess.
With my acrobatics. Oh, I'm now doing it. Well, you know what? I'm going to cheat fate on this one. With a 13 plus 3, so 16 to get up inside it.
All right. There is a leap as Billum disappears once again inside of the large creature. There is then this colossal woof that erupts. The creature lets loose a pained yowl as it is then engulfed in fire and flames. The green flames seem to pull it and tear it off. Can you just do a regular flip for me, please, Billum?
I can.
All right. Okay, it has the burning condition and is very discombobulated at the moment. Ludovica, from within the creature, you can actually see the green flames starting to coalesce around you. The walls are slowly burning. What are you doing?
I'm doing my flip to stay conscious. That's what I'm doing.
Yes, of course. Of course.
That's a 13.
You stay conscious as you hold
I'm
it
not
together.
breathing.
Well, yeah, that's true.
It's more like eyes are very wide. Her veil is askew. Do I see anything that in reach that I could go for just to try
Make a
and hurt the
doctoring
thing? What check?
Doctoring, if you would like to.
That's which aspect?
Intelligence.
Ha ha. It's an 11.
All right. With an 11, that is plenty. You can see a few things within reach. As you can see the flames slowly gathering up inside, you can actually see the wiring inside of Goliath, including, of course, something that looks like it was hodgepodge together. A blue core that seems to have been disconnected from a red one. The red one, of course, seems to have kind of been overheated and is still kind of primed and ready to blow. You believe if you were to rewire it and reattach it, you would instigate the countdown that you prevented, or at least that Billum prevented previously.
I'm not going to blow up Goliath. And no. I'm trying to keep it. No, I was looking at maybe for whether the creature that is outside also has bits inside.
It does have bits inside.
Then I'm just maneuvering my little gun upwards to whatever it is, grab it, and then shoot it point blank.
All right. Make your attack as you shoot this thing point blank.
That's 12.
12 will hit.
Does the thing have armor?
Does the thing have armor? No.
Fine. And I don't have to switch suits or anything. Fine. Good.
All right. That's a negative flip. So flip 2, take the lowest for your damage as you fire on the inside. That's severe. And one more. Moderate damage, which brings us to
3.
With that resounding blow, the creature falls, falling to its knees. And as it does, you hear the sound of the creature.
No, this is not what was supposed to happen. I was supposed to come in back. I was supposed to enter Earth. I was supposed to bring the whispers. You cannot kill me, for I am immortal.
Well,
And-
I was supposed to be performing an opera today. Not all of us get what we want when we want it. I wipe my gun on my dress, and I think that my wig is probably more like this now.
It's definitely a little skewed. All right. The creature turns into a viscous puddle and dissipates, leaving Goliath battered, bruised, and injured, and for the time being unconscious. As Ludovica, you kind of...
And I also grab down and get out Billum.
Oh yeah, you pull out a flaming Billum. Billum, by the way, your hat has like this little green fire smoldering. but from the center of Goliath, there's a crack down the sternum as it opens, and you pull yourself out of Goliath, shake yourself off from the gore and grime, and pull out the little goblin, the little gremlin as well.
Darling, you're soaked. Here, take this.
On earth does
am-
it always manage to be inside things?
Yep.
Ludovica, you're handed the scarf.
Well, twice in one day. That's a new record.
I want it on the record. You're never allowed to get inside me. Just to be clear.
Well, I wouldn't dream of it.
Right.
Does that go for all of us, Mr. Hargrave?
Ugh.
Mr. Hargrave goes a brilliant shade of red.
What's wrong with him? Is he choking?
Speaking of insides of bodies, I think I might have squished and squashed a few of my organs. I don't need them per se, but the all-over stability of this body is compromised. So if you excuse me, I'll just sit down.
As you go to sit down, there is one individual which no one has noticed went missing. As you turn around
The
and
lumberjack.
reside. Well, the lumberjack is still there. He's kind of like got his shotgun
Soldier.
trained. He's still kind of looking around. He has no idea what's going on. As he's like, all right, well, Mr. Edward Montague, allow me to do some proper introduction. My name is Halbert Smalls, and I too am in a bit of owing for some, well, pretty much for some funds in order to keep my own tavern up and out of debt. All of a sudden, this fellow showed up, told me what's what, and asked me to render some assistance in where I can. Needless to say, it was in a moment of desperation, as my tavern is now probably halfway down the Thames. But I got to say, your day seems to be going a lot worse, laddie.
Well, our mutual friend certainly has an unusual way of fulfilling his contract. And I really thank you for your intervention, no doubt. On the other hand, just as a passing thought, we could probably get the city to pay for your tavern, considering that this damage could possibly be considered responsibility of the crown to have fixed, and they did not. So there might be grounds there for you to actually get your tavern back. If we survive this, come and find me. You saved my life. Maybe I can...
By all means, I absolutely will. Oh, please, do you have a business card or something?
No, but I can sign a contract with you.
As you say this, Eddie, can I get the queued up picture to show up, please? Without any sign or any noise whatsoever, you hear what you think is kind of almost like, you know, those chamber bells that you would have heard, like say from the old like this, well, what's that called? You know, the Scrooge tale in the Christmas story, yada yada.
The Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol, thank you. As he rings the bell and it has that little ding, 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 ding.
So a servant's bell. Yeah.
Yes. You hear that. And this individual appears out of nowhere. No footsteps, no windows, no doors. He's just in the right place at the right moment. He wears a platinum mask and a very, very formal attire. He holds in his hand a silver plate with a silver dome on top of it. And as you say that you don't have any business cards, he opens the bowl, and inside is a business card for what's your law practice's name, by the way? Montague and Montague?
Gettable lawyers. One of one.
It's just
it's probably Hargrave Montague Esquire and Sons.
And that is what
Wait a moment. You got family?
We unveil plot twist right here. So you can see that there is this embossed card, absolutely beautifully drawn. This card alone looks well and truly out of a budget of anything that you would have produced yourself. This individual, without saying a word, simply gestures and bows deeply to the lumberjack, who sort of looks at Edward with this kind of he takes the business card.
We both look at it.
It says your name and your details.
Oh.
And then on the back of it, it'll say sponsored by, and then it's a insignia of the guild, the elite division.
Huh.
And a tiny little anvil in the corner.
I didn't expect that. Never happened before. Well, there you are. Find me. If you survive.
Well, thank you. Of course, trying to survive is a whole other matter. Is this a friend of yours or something?
I have no idea who or what it is.
The individual straightens up his tie and begins to get to work. As he does, you watch as he moves deadly quietly, as in it almost looks like a ghost, because his footfalls make no noise. You barely remember any of his features, but he starts cleaning up the crime scene. The altar is, one moment it's in disrepair, ripped apart by the teeth of this creature. The next minute it is fully restored, pristine. The candles on the floor, the runic symbols cleaned out and scrubbed, the corpses of the nuns gone. This is just happening in quick succession. Yes, prima donna.
I am an opera singer, which means I think about breathing all the time.
Mhm.
Is this fellow, can I see breathing happening in his rib cage, or is he some kind of automaton or undead personage?
Definitely alive, definitely breathing, definitely, yeah. Just there's something unnatural about him, though. You can definitely get that vibe. Ludovica, as an undead, you can tell that this guy is absolutely not an undead either.
Ludovica can't tell anything at the moment. She's just sitting down, trying not to move.
Edward, however, you kind of look at this man and how he moves. There is something remarkably familiar about him, yet you have never, you could swear you've never seen this person in your life before. In fact, it almost feels like you two have a kind of kinship in a kind of way as to how forgettable an individual this happens to be.
Who are you?
As he turns to face you, he does not say anything, but all he offers you is a silver coin. The silver coin has no heads, no tails. And as you look at the coin and inspect it, as quickly as this individual appears, he is gone.
Professor Scarpati, is that? Have you heard the? I have no idea where that individual came from at all.
I no idea myself, but it would have been fortunate if you would have asked for a med kit before he left, because he gave you the business cards. You should have asked for something that kind of helps me bring my bones back in place.
I completely agree. Would have been a better choice.
I have to say, as concerning as it all is, it's not even the strangest thing that's happened in the last 5 minutes. So,
True. You do have a bit of time in order to rest, relax, and recuperate. I can see that obviously the prima donna has already begun stitching her friend. Do not worry about making the flip, because for this period of time, you guys will have enough time to have restored all of your hit points by the time you need to move on. So it is not a difficult task, but you guys do tend to each other's wounds and the like. However, you have indeed still a missing person. The soldier who had traveled with you,
Both.
up until this point seems to have been misplaced. When the room was thrown into darkness, he was nowhere to be seen.
Do you think he ran away? Has the room returned to its normal state now? I mean, I know it's been cleaned up, but is it now just like a normal convent's antechamber?
Absolutely. Even the blood from the previous room and all the evil runic symbols and stuff like that, all of that has also been scrubbed off the walls as if it were never there. The bed sheets and linens that were torn and ripped apart by what you think was maybe a ceremonial knife or something has been stitched and darned perfectly to be in perfect restoration.
Are there any nuns about still, or have they all become?
Oh, they're still dead,
Oh,
and
they're
they're still part of Goliath, who is still there. He's still functioning-ish, but needs a little bit of TLC.
As much as
Tomato, lettuce, cheese.
Yes, tomato, lettuce, cheese. Tender, loving construct. Needs a teddy bear.
there is
I
still
need a
a
teddy
matter
bear
of.
too.
Do we? I mean, let's be honest here. There's a lot of. Everything is just. I mean, what do we? Professor?
Well, are you hoping that I can explain all of this? I'm still not certain if I've just had a terrible concussion or if I'm still alive, or I have no idea. Never encountered something like that in my life before. Regarding the soldier, like, I don't want to be impolite, but he just came along with us and now he left. Is there any importance for him, for us? Do we need
No,
him?
the soldier's neither here nor there. And Edward sort of plops down on the altar quite heavily. I don't understand. Perhaps now is a good time for us to reconsider our position. I mean, we were looking for Springhill Jack, and we found him in the tower with some of those soul-stony things, and then all hell broke loose. Am I right in saying that Springhill Jack wasn't actually part of the Burning Man in the Sky, but was actually trying to escape the Burning Man in the Sky?
That
Yes,
was my
he-
impression.
Kind of refugee or something.
Yeah, it felt like he was stuck here and he wanted to leave before whatever happened, which was that the flooding? I mean, the Thames water doesn't look anything like that. And I don't think the Thames even has that much water to do that in terms of flooding London. So
I'm afraid those are just symptoms. The flooding
Well,
is
yes.
one part of a bigger thing that's taking place here.
I'm just trying to build our case here. I'm trying to put it all together and see what Ludovica, I know you're incommoded at the moment, but can you weigh in on this? This seems like we've wandered very much into your territory. All these beasts here in the convent and so on. Is this literally the apocalypse? Is Malifaux now uniting with our world? Or is this the future? Is this what it's going to be like every day? Fighting these kinds of things? I mean, Billum, did you get any insight while you were inside? Quite literally.
I wouldn't say insight.
All right. So I'm going to be doing a bit of an information drop to everyone because we have some excellent questions here, which lean on the knowledges that everyone would originally have. Here is what you guys each have. Billum, having come from Malifaux yourself and obviously being involved with Springhill Jack and his particular ritual to return to Malifaux, the convergence of Malifaux and Earth is unlikely because why would you jump from one sinking ship to the other if the worlds were converging? That doesn't quite check out for that. This being said, however, the oceans are something you recognize. Though you've never been yourself, the Malifaux oceans have kind of this kind of scent to it. Not like salt water that you find on Earth, which is filled with just fish and stuff like that. But there's almost like this viscous, gooey stank that leans in over the murky depths of Malifaux, and that is what it carries. It definitely is water from your world in vast quantities, though of course you've never really seen it in this quantity or this range. Professor Scarpati, the creatures that you've seen flying around very, very close and personally during your escapades on the rooftops trying to leap from place to place, you recognize them as creatures of the gibbering horde. Now, you had only heard about these in rumors and journal texts from members of the Explorer Society as well as the Avalon Society itself. All that is known about them is that they believe that deep within the oceans of Malifaux is some sort of siren queen that commands a Piscine army. And you believe that perhaps if this is water from the oceans of Malifaux, that likely some of the Piscine queen's kingdom has been swept up in the mix. Whether this is a prelude to an invasion or simply an accidental random act of happenstance is purely speculative. Ludovica, you as a person with very close ties to a researcher and notable scholar in necromancy, Albus von Stuck, you know one true fact about anything, and that is undead are very difficult to bring into Malifaux. You often have to create them on Earth. Sorry, bring from Malifaux. The train ride, as it were, that separates Malifaux from Earth is actually one that can grant powers to those who pass through the breach. Many people have gathered powers from traveling one way or another, and the guild prohibits expressly the transportation of the undead. Yourself being transported is probably responsible for why you don't really suffer the same kind of rot that a lot of the other undead tend to, as well as your heightened intelligence and cunning. These are likely side effects of that sort of transportation. The fact that the creatures such as Goliath and this plague homunculus-like being that you've just fought are dripping, and I mean dripping with necromancy, to the point that at some point during the fight, you felt necromancy, strong enough necromancy in the air that you could simply pull it and wield it so easily, is unheard of on Earth. It's not done. Whatever is connecting these waters from rushing into Earth, the portals themselves are direct portals to Malifaux. These aren't like sort of, oh, we're teleporting water and it's just water being dumped. No, if you were to sort of swim up them, not that you would, but if you would, you believe that you would come out the other side because magic is pouring into Earth, like in the same quantities as the waters that currently rage through the city. Whew. Hortensia, what you happen to know in regards to all of this is, of course, as someone who has been a socialite and who has understood the Burning Man for quite some time, you have been privy to a number of rumors, vast rumors, in fact, surrounding the Governor General of the Guild and his dereliction of duties to perform what people have been claiming to be unlawful experiments for his own personal gain. One experiment which has held a lot of rumor mongering is the fact that he tried to bond himself with one of the great tyrants of Malifaux, a creature built of fire and hatred, and they believe that the Burning Man may possibly be the Governor General himself, manifesting a power as he ascends to something more than human. But of course, this is simply wives' tales and the chatter, as it were. But seeing everything as it unfolds, seeing the powers that seem to have been originating from this individual have brought into question the truth of this. Was the Burning Man simply just this anomaly? Is it just a trick of the light? Or perhaps is there something true to these rumors of the Governor General's ascension? And Edward, your particular expertise has led you to, of course, interact with a number of individuals. And like rats scurrying away from the ships, those who have been in the underbelly of society have learned and heard of these rumors and evacuated long before the populace started moving, before the guild started marching into town. As for now, the guild was in position, already preemptively preparing for something big. What they probably didn't realize, as well as yourself, was the scale in which this was going to occur. You are not fighting an armed force. You are not fighting legions of the Neverborn or hordes of the undead. You are fighting nature itself, the environment, the world as it shifts and changes. And that swept up all of the guild members who have come to aid London. It has caused devastation of an untold magnitude. And that is the reality of what all of you find yourselves in as you take stock of the adventure thus far. Ha, there we go. Info dump. Bleh.
So if we take all of that into consideration, I put it to you
Yes.
that it is our moral and, I dread to use the word, earthly responsibility to make sure that this stops.
Well, how does one close a portal? How does one vanquish a man who is bonded with a tyrant who has become the spirit of fire and is currently rocketing through the sky? I mean, are these things even possible? Can we do that? Do we have the tools at our disposal? Do we have the knowledge? Wouldn't it be better just to get a boat out of town, away from the reigning of Malifaux's waters into London?
Well, will this be only London?
Exactly.
Or will it spread?
Exactly. And I have seen a flag on my hand. I know no one else saw it, but I have seen the tricolours, and one of those colours is valor. We should not be running, otherwise we should be running all along. At least I think that's what the colour was. Nonetheless, surely there's got, if you can open a portal, you must be able to close it. I mean, it's just like a door. I mean, that's technically what the Latin means, portus, to portal through, to go from point A to point B through a space. We must be able to close it, surely. I mean, this is your purview, surely. Ludovica, Billum, I mean, prima donna, you've got some of the magic in you. Can't you just make it stop or something? We get to the source of it. I mean, Professor, I'm sure with all of your wild adventures, we could navigate these waters to wherever it is that they're coming from and just close the damn thing. Can't we?
I agree with you, Edward. I think, though, that we might need to close it from the other side, though. I'm not sure, like, what we have learned so far, what we have stitched together, is that this might be caused by the megalomania of one person here on Earth who tried to, I don't know, ascend to something and probably used the help of something very powerful from Malifaux. I'm not sure if we can solve this problem from this side or if we not need to cross over and solve it from the other side. Given that we still are stuck here, I think we need to find a way out here first before we can plan our next move.
Professor, can I get you to make me a history check?
I would love to.
Finally!
You don't have an underground contact? In this case, quite literally an underground contact, so we could just go under the water? I mean, there must be old tunnels and things that are not necessarily connected to the street.
Is that a mask?
That is a mask.
Perfect. Because then I can use my trigger written by the victors.
Okay, what does that do?
Yes, let me quickly look that up. I have written it down somewhere.
This is actually a really good one, and I'm really glad that that's what's happening.
After succeeding, make a deceive challenge against a nearby target. Well, I'm not sure if that helps me somehow. That this historical event happened differently than it actually did. The target believes your turn.
So basically the way it works is you will write the history. As you are not doing this on a target, I'm going to give you the ability to write a portion of the narrative here. You have, I'm going to give you 30 seconds till you are the GM.
Oh, no. Okay.
All that you know is that there's no way to shut down the portals per se. However, the portals themselves are not all the same size, the same shape, or go to the same location. The other thing you know is that there are people who have survived the catastrophe, and there are many methods of escape. The city is flooded. Aerial technology is not really accessible because all the portals are in the sky. And your signet rings connect you to an information network of the Avalon Society. You have 30 seconds as the GM to write the narrative as you see fit, starting from now.
Holy crap, that's pressure. Well, so I would say that there is still an active cell of the Avalon Society who knows a lot more about that. And although we cannot close the portals, we can at least reduce the amount of damage that it is causing. And with the, you said with those ocean queens that are with the gibbering horde, they are really unhappy of the fact that they are being poured into our world because that was an accident and that was not intended for them to be. They are also seeking for a way to stop that happening. So all we need to do now is we need to find a connection somehow to get over to Malifaux and get in contact with them, and
5,
hopefully
4,
they help us.
3, 2, 1. All right. So with that, you all receive a communication on your signet ring. Well done, by the way, Till. That was quite remarkable. I definitely enjoy that. The signet ring begins to sort of ring. As you kind of all do this, the Scottish bartender, who's still there, kind of does the same thing, not realizing kind of what you're doing.
That's our salute.
It's just salute, could be. All of
Just
a
a
sudden,
fist to a head.
all of a sudden, you hear the sounds of a woman coming from the other side, the other line. I need a name, which I'm trying to just locate because we do have another donated NPC, which I do apologize. I should have had this separated from a big long list of stuff, but I didn't. Eddie, can you send me the NPC again, please, if you'd be so kind, just so that I don't have to. Oh no, never mind. I found it. Yay. Robin Starfish is the name of this individual. All right. A rather comely individual that Prima Donna you would actually know as she's an American belly dancer who plays musical instruments, rather beautiful individual. I feel like Guy is dying for a very specific reason. And blonde hair, blue eyes, incredibly gorgeous drag queen. She seems to, well, her voice comes over the ring as you hold it to your ear, and you hear her as she says,
"Members of the Avalon Society, can you hear me, darlings?"
Darling, I love
Yes.
the British accent you've picked up.
Who is this?
"Oh, Prima Donna, is that you?"
Yeah, Robin, how are you doing?
"Well, I do declare, I'm surprised to hear that you're alive and well."
Why should you be surprised?
"Well, I've
This
heard
big
about
floats, you know.
Well, we don't wear such large and bawdy costumes in order to, weigh us down in the event of a sudden flood, if you follow my meaning."
Darling, you're so naughty. Go on.
"Well, I've heard that the Avalon Society has agents still stranded in London. You wouldn't happen to be part of them, would you, darling?"
Well, it's funny that you should mention that, but yes, we've been attacked more times than I was attacked when I was singing with the Bavarian folk opera. You wouldn't imagine it. It's been appalling.
I
Oh,
feel
no.
very attacked right now.
"Well, I got some good news for you, sugar. We've been looking very hard at what's been happening with you, and we've been trying very hard to try and figure out precisely how to help y'all in there. We think that perhaps that there's no way to stop the portals, but there may be a way to manipulate them, maybe reduce some of the damage that's been done to the city. Now, you see that old burning man in the sky there?
I have seen him, yes.
Well, apparently there's some sort of magical heebity-jeebity signal that's been broadcasting from his location, which is breaching the veil of magic and bringing all them portals right to you. What you need is some sort of large magical countenance to disrupt that signal and be able to turn the portals back in and on themselves. It won't stop it, but the number of portals will definitely stop, and even the size of them will start to shrink down.
Interesting. Interesting. So where do we find this magical heebity-jeebity, I think you called it?
One more second. Hey, Clarence, do you remember what we need for the magical heebity? Yeah? Uh-huh. Do you have any large constructs, you know, something like a peacekeeper or rite breaker, anything like that, sugar?
We have a large man made of meat. A large man made of smaller men. A man ducking, as it were.
Well, do they have any soul stones in them?
I assume something's keeping the thing going. Soul stones? Were there soul stones? Well, just give me 1 second. Billum, you were inside it. Did you see any soul stones on your travels? You're muted, my love. My
Someone
sweet
cast
little
silence on
cherry
that.
boy.
He shakes his signet ring.
Yes. Hello?
Yes,
Yeah.
well, there's certainly something inside. Yes, soul stones. Yes, we think so.
All right. Well, if you can take a soul stone and channel enough magical energies into it, as close as you can get to that fella, we believe that that'll do the trick. But you gotta
Right,
get
now-
somewhere high.
Yes, my next question. Hot air balloon? Some kind of situation to get us up? Close?
Well, you know, funny you mention that. You see, there's an old professor by the name of John Jacob Pepperheimer
Scarpati.
Smith. Yeah, that's the fella.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
poor old
Pleasant
man.
memory.
I heard he died. It was really sad news. I heard he was killed by bears or something. Anyway, the old man lived.
No, he's just unbearable. It's very easy to get that.
Eddie. Eddie snuck that in. And then he took it off before anyone else could see it. So I look mad now, you bastard. Anyway, sorry. Or anyway. He says, the professor, well, he was working on a number of different things. And apparently, one of the things that I heard that he was working on was something called a dirigible or something for, he was working with a few other professors. We think that maybe he might know the location of one of these warehouses where these dirigibles, would be. And apparently they're just like big hot air balloons. They're just apparently made of metal. It sounds like a daft idea, I know, but maybe you could find out if the old miser had any blueprints or something that you'd be able to get access to.
Well, Professor, do you have one of these reachables, de-reachables, whatever it is?
The word is
know.
dirigible, and you, as you say that, you can't see it, but on the other side of the line, she goes this bright pink and blue, like just a...
Well, what little money penny just indicated was that we might find something like that in one of the warehouses where I keep my how to put that,
Projects.
findings.
Are the warehouses still around, or are they gone with the Thames?
Well,
What?
they're
Sorry, you would know that they would actually have been secured enough to survive a what you have declared a soulstone bomb. You're oh. Wait, why is that not working? Oh, you just messed with me. You know what? You know, fine.
Open
Anyway,
the window. The helium needs to get out.
there you go.
Thank you. Ahem. had a frog in my throat. So yes, where the hell was I? You found out that you basically have lots of contacts in the scholarly world, and one of which was a brilliant engineer by the name of his name is Alberto Molensi. Basically, Alberto had created a large metal flying machine, which everyone had basically palmed off as ridiculous. As part of your work long ago with the guild, you assisted him to making it an actual functioning thing. He gave you the blueprints and even built you a prototype, which you stored in a big warehouse that is filled with your most valuable treasures, your rarest artifacts, and most dangerous findings. It is designed to survive basically designed to survive a bomb explosion. Billum, this is literally the holy grail of Professor Scarpati. You have on multiple occasions tried to find out where this warehouse is. You've never been, but the stuff in there, if it's not worth more money than you can even imagine, it is capable of destroying more than you've ever seen. That is what is inside this warehouse.
I can only hyperventilate so much.
He just stops breathing.
A bright purple. Shades of green.
So probably just maroon.
Yeah.
All right, Sugar.
So
well,
I
I'm going to
think I
leave you
can-
to it. I'm about to lose signal, but good luck to you. And if you do manage to get out of the city, then we'll definitely do lunch, dear.
Oh, darling, I look forward to it. Wear something that floats, okay?
And the signal cuts out.
Oh. Well, you all heard that, sweet, lovely little beans. Well, can we get the de-reachable? It's ironic, really, because it makes the man more reachable.
You gather up together and begin to plan as Scarpati gives you the details on where exactly his warehouse is. As we pan away from our group gathering together, they manage to make their way back into the main cathedral center. They do not see signs of the soldier at all, just the other survivors and the like. There's a map that's been brought out, and they kind of sort of label out and sort of point at different routes that they can take. At the top of the tower in the belfry, you hear the sounds of snarling. Eddie, can I get a striped crawler on the screen, please? As the screen pans up, you see this form, almost like, that kind of invisible sheen that you've seen from the Predator movies, as this creature leans over the corpse of the soldier, its body jerking as strips of flesh are being ripped from the body of the poor soldier. This creature here tears into him, and on the outside of the cathedral, crawling up from the waters very quietly, are a small pack of these invisible chameleon-like Piscine creatures. And that is where we are going to end today's session as we prepare and get ready for our next stint into Act 3 of Through the Breach Avalon Society. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming and joining us, and a very, very special thank you to the people who have sponsored our NPCs. Fear not, for the NPCs have been used once. They does not necessarily mean that they will not be used again. The Scotsman is, of course, absolutely with them. And I think it was BJ Varro. BJ Varro, who also just made another $25 donation. Thank you so much, BJ. I hope you enjoyed the brief cameos. They will, like I said, for me, for the NPCs, they do show up a few more times. So there is more to it. I hope I did them justice. And of course, thank you to every one of my players who helped me build and create this very vivid and awesome story. There was pretty much half a boss battle, which I always worry about, but you guys are just so dynamic and so much fun. It was absolutely incredible. And of course, a very, very special thank you to our interim GM, Till, for his very creative, very interesting rendition of history as it will unfold. It was actually super interesting too, because I had my plan, and when you flip that, I was like, you know what? Let's see what happens. Let's see if I, let's see what happens when we give the map to the Austrian and see what happens. And you know what? I don't regret anything. It was amazing. It was awesome and absolutely incredible. So before we obviously sign out, let's of course hear from each of our lovely players as we find out where we can find them and all of the amazing stuff that they are doing. Starting, of course, with none other than Guy, who played the role of Edward Montague Hargrave.
I'm just seeing that bar moving up towards unleashing the third boss monster.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for the next one. The next one is going to be a doozy. The next one I'm actually very proud of. It's a little silly, I will admit that, but those of you who know me will appreciate the cameo of whatever the creature happens to be. But I'm not telling you what it is. I'm just letting you know that I'm looking forward to it.
Also, people who know you know that you are more than a little silly. So.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you're a big silly.
I'm a big silly. But yes, no, I love the boss bar. The boss bar is so much fun. All right, Guy, where can we find you and all the amazing stuff that you happen to be doing?
You can find me at www.greatgamemaster.com and online on YouTube at How to Be a Great Game Master or Game Master Live. And yes, the next thing that's going to be happening is Sundays, where I do live sessions with a GM, where if you have any RPG questions, you come along and we'll answer them and hang out and look at cool stuff and do some stuff. And that's on Sundays at 7 p.m. GMT, which I know for a lot of people in Australia is a silly time, but it is the time, sadly.
But you know what? It's still worthwhile. You learn a lot, and you gain a lot of insight into not only how you might play, but how a whole bunch of different GMs play. I mean, everyone's got their own style, and it's just really cool to kind of find out how other people do stuff. Next up is, of course, none other than the ever wonderful Janet. Janet, where can people find you, my dear?
Well, if you want to find me, you can search at World Anvil pretty much anywhere. It might take you to the World Anvil website, where you can create worlds, write novels, run campaigns, do all that good stuff. Or it might take you to our YouTube channel, where I release world building, writing, and GMing content to help you do those things better. Or it might lead you to our social media, where I put up all sorts of silly, ridiculous things, or even to one of our live streams, because we go live 5 times a week talking about world building, game mastering. My Friday stream is specifically for writers, and this Saturday I am interviewing the lead developer of Smunchy Games, and we're talking about how to build an RPG system, which should be amazing. So yeah, that's Saturday, 7 p.m. UK time, 11 a.m. Pacific time, and some goddamn awful time in the morning for Australians. It's like 5 a.m. I think. Ugh, sorry.
Like I said, I feel like most of these are going to be apologies to the Australians, but it's fine. We're accustomed to it.
That's what VOD was made for.
That's very true. That's very true. Speaking of, we then go to none other than the ever wonderful Till. Thank you again so much, Till. Tell us, where can we find your awesome and cool stuff?
You can find us on dungeonfog.com or all the social media handles that are associated to Dungeon Fog. We are releasing today our new asset pack. It's time for another monthly asset pack, which is Rooftops, which I'm very proud of. It's our first sponsored asset pack that we've released. It was brought to the community by Wyrd Games, and I'm really proud of that asset pack. So if you want to build small villages, if you want to add rooftops, ceilings, whatever it is, shingled roofs, thatched roofs, wooden roofs, stone roofs to your buildings, you can find that now, I think within the next 2 hours on Dungeon Fog. And I just want to point out that it is a marvelous joy to get the headlight pointed at you, a countdown of 30 seconds, and an unprepared moment of suddenly being told that you now have to be the GM. That feels really wonderful. Thank you, Michael.
I'm
The
really
second
glad.
language.
I'm going to
Just
call
further
my
that.
doctor afterwards. I think I need my heart checked.
Wait, what? Oh my god! And we're live, and that was unprepared. And yes, enjoy. Mwahaha. Oh my god! I'll touch back on surprises later on, but yes. Next up, of course, Anthony from Roll for Damage, who played our wonderful Billum. Before we go into your thing, do I need to put metal chastity belts on my bad guys from now on? Is that something I must now? Because I mean, like when you got a group of barbarians, you're doing bludgeoning damage, you add bludgeoning resistance to your enemies. Do I need to put chastity belts on my enemies for dealing with you, Billum?
Look, it's not my proudest moments. It's definitely my favorite moments, though. I'm gonna say, if you give it an inch, I will make it a foot.
Look, just. I think an inch was fine. It's what you did with the rest of the mile that I think bothered most of the enemies. And ironically, it was the same enemy too. So, tell us, Anthony, where can we find you and your silliness?
Of course, you can find myself on Twitter at VegeMiteD, or here on Twitch as Vegemite Dangerous, or you can find me most of the time here on Twitch at twitch.tv/roll for damage. We're an Australian D&D community. Come along, have a look at our games. We got new ones starting up. We got some in the works at the moment. Michael's going to be there soon. It's going to be amazing.
Fantastic. And last, but of course, certainly not least, Mhaire with, I mean, like, I love these last two episodes. I feel like Mhaire, that kind of porcelain doll kind of thing where like there's sort of like this demeanor, cool, calm, collected, and then suddenly it sort of snaps, and beneath is kind of this raging torrent of magic and anger. I love that the last two episodes have been very undead focused, and that we've really got to dive in and see Ludovica in its fullest. So first of all, I just wanted to say that was absolutely incredible, and an absolute kudos to an awesome series of role plays over the last few weeks. Tell us where we can see more of your awesome role playing chops out in the world.
You can usually find me on Orkenspalter TV, which is both our YouTube channel and our Twitch channel, and we stream 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a week. It depends what is on, what's not on with different things. And we do a lot of stuff. We do game mastering and world building advice like everyone here is wont to do. We write adventures live with help from the chat, from the stream, and produce them, and then later we're going to play them and host online conventions and this and that and lots of stuff. Anything that comes our way that somehow has to do with tabletop RPGs, with a few computer RPGs, PC RPGs, and anything that is in the realm of the fantastic. Let's put it like that. Yeah, that's what we do, and we write, and you point us at anything, and we're trying to do it with the semi-professional standards.
All right, awesome.
That's us.
All right, and I, of course, have been Michael. I am the Dead Aussie Gamer. You can find me pretty much anywhere you type in Dead Aussie Gamer. I do a whole bunch of live streams and shows. Like these individuals, I do some content creation, but really, I'm just a silly twit who jumps from place to place playing games with people. So you can find me all over the internet. You can find me here at the Mercs of Mischief channel, which have a variety of awesome shows, including the Avalon Knights Academy and the Too Many Warlocks, as well as a series called Hero Factory, which focuses on a group of awesome people from the regular cast of the Mercs of Mischief playing around with Hero Forge and creating characters for people. You can also find me on Roll for Damage very soon as well, so do go check them out as well. And as well as on the How to Be a Great GM channel, which we will actually be doing something very exciting at the end of the month, which I'm going to talk about very briefly. Eddie, can we throw up the poster, please? Thank you. If we can. Brilliant. as you can see right there, we have something very exciting happening on the 1st of July, at least for most places that aren't Australia. On the 1st of July, I'm going to be meeting up with not only Guy, but also Mhaire, as well as two very interesting cast members. Your narrator from the video game channel by the same name, and of course, Cucumber from Perception Studios, as we play Maximum Apocalypse, a very new RPG game set in a post-apocalyptic world. Not that these guys know anything about that, where 12 simultaneous cataclysms have torn apart the world. It's a new RPG that is available on Kickstarter until the 1st of July. So this stream will be kind of like a end of thing stream type, end of the Kickstarter thing. So if you want to get into it, Eddie, we're going to be putting the link to the Kickstarter in the chat right now. So if you want to go check that out or subscribe to it, highly recommend it. And yeah, come check that out as well. And speaking of which, Eddie, I always forget Eddie, poor Eddie. Eddie is the Minotaur that I have grabbed and forced to do my editing work. You can find him at Tabletop Explorers on Twitch, where you can come and watch him do some awesome stuff. Cool. Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. And thank you to my players. Till next time, guys, from us to you, game hard or die trying. Bye, everyone.